Have you ever walked away from just a totally normal, everyday conversation and then spent the next 3 hours literally replaying the whole thing in your head? Your brain is just racing, right? Analyzing every little pause, every tiny inflection. You're trying to figure out what happened, even when, well, nothing actually happened. Welcome to this explainer on mastering your mind. Today, we're going to break down exactly why your brain absolutely refuses to switch off after a simple chat.
You know exactly the feeling I'm talking about. You're sitting there long after the interaction ended, and that familiar nagging question just pops in your head. Wait, did I say something wrong? And that's almost always followed by, did they misunderstand what I meant? It's an incredibly intense and honestly just exhausting experience to be trapped in that mental replay loop, constantly auditing your own social interactions. Okay, let's dive into this and uncover what's actually happening behind the scenes.
From the outside looking in, or honestly, even to yourself, this constant second guessing kind of looks like classic social anxiety. It feels like a flaw, doesn't it? Like you just can't handle basic interactions. But psychology actually tells us a totally different story. Now, what's really interesting here is the shift in perspective. Your brain isn't just spinning its wheels for no reason just to torture you. It's actually engaging in a highly complex protective mechanism. It is actively trying to keep you safe from perceived social danger. To truly understand how it's trying to protect you, we really need to look under the hood at how your mind processes information in the moment.
Section 1. Brain on high alert and the mechanics of hyper-awareness. Let's get into it. So if you're an overthinker, you are essentially a super processor. You literally notice way more than the average person does. While someone else just hears a sentence and takes it at face value, your brain is busy picking up on the exact tone of voice, those fleeting micro-expressions on their face, and tiny shifts in their body language. Because you take in all this extra input, well, your brain naturally has to do significantly more analysis. And you don't stop at the present moment either. Your mind is constantly running these predictive models, asking, okay, what's going to happen next? It's a defense strategy, preparing you for possible rejection or conflict way before it even happens. On top of the whole shebang, you absorb and deeply feel the emotional tension of others. If there's even a tiny unspoken shift in the room's energy, you feel it instantly, and your mind desperately goes to work trying to find a reason for it. All that constant processing and hyper-empathy, it creates an incredibly heavy mental load.
Section 2. The rumination loop and the trap of self-monitoring. Let's move to this and see exactly how it builds. See, this is where the mental exhaustion really sets in for so many of us. Think about this sequence. Step 1, you talk. Seems normal enough, right? But step 2 is the real catch. You don't just talk, you simultaneously watch yourself talk from this weird third-person perspective. It's like you're the actor on the stage and the harshest critic in the front row at the exact same time. You're monitoring your words, your posture, your delivery right as it happens in real time. And that intense self-scrutiny, it leads directly to step 3. The painful reality that a brief, casual 5-minute chat stretches out to last for literally hours in your mind as you review the tape of your performance over and over again. There's actually a clinical term for being stuck in this relentless cycle, and this brilliantly illustrates what we call rumination. It's defined as thinking about something again and again, and this is absolutely crucial, without ever reaching a solution. You aren't problem solving, you aren't planning for the future. You're just spinning in a closed loop, burning immense amounts of mental energy without ever moving forward. But why are some of us so incredibly prone to this exhausting loop, while others can just brush things off? To find out, we have to look backwards. Section 3, Roots of the Habit. Here we'll explore the deeply ingrained childhood origins of overthinking. Let's just take a breath for a second. Let the pace slow down a bit, and really ask yourself, why does your brain do this? Why does it work so incredibly hard, burning so much fuel, to manage every single interaction and strive to be utterly flawless? It's not a glitch in your hardware. Actually, it's a deeply ingrained software program that you installed a long time ago. Our source material points out a heavy but incredibly vital realization. This intense hyper-awareness, it's a learned habit. If, growing up, you ever felt ignored, invalidated, or maybe harshly judged by the people around you, well, your developing brain had to come up with a strategy to survive that emotional environment. It learned that to feel safe, to be accepted, and basically to avoid pain, you had to be perfect. You had to anticipate everyone's needs, read the room flawlessly, and never, ever make a misstep. Your brain learned that overthinking was a survival tool. It's essentially an overzealous bodyguard that just doesn't realize the threat is already passed. But here's the amazing news. Once you understand exactly where this comes from, the entire narrative changes. And that brings us to our final section. Master your mind and how shifting your perspective really does change everything. This realization right here is the absolute core of our whole explainer today. We spend so much time beating ourselves up for overthinking, right? Viewing it as this terrible, embarrassing flaw. So, the crucial point is that your overthinking isn't a weakness at all. Just look at what it actually stems from. It comes from incredible high-definition awareness of the world around you. It comes from a deep, profound empathy for how other human beings are feeling. And it comes from true intellectual and emotional depth. You care, you notice things, you feel things deeply. Those are massive psychological strengths, even if they sometimes feel incredibly heavy to carry around all day.
However, just because the survival mechanism served you well in the past doesn't mean it gets to run your life today. I really want you to remember this powerful truth. Your past explains your overthinking, but it absolutely does not control it. You are no longer that child trying to avoid judgment. You have the power today to recognize this protective mechanism for exactly what it is, genuinely thank your brain for trying so hard to keep you safe, and then consciously choose to step out of that exhausting rumination loop.
Which brings us to our final, ultimate question for you to take away today. Now that you understand the mechanics, the childhood origins, and the incredible hidden strengths behind your overactive brain, are you going to keep fighting your mind, treating it like a broken enemy, or will you start mastering it? Because once you truly understand your own psychology, the battle ends and the mastery begins. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep reflecting, and I'll see you next time.